Quiet on set! Camera?
Rolling.
Sound?
Speed.
Wonderful.
Scene 14B, take 4. And action.
I think our first day, along with our last day, were two of the stronger days of our 3-day shoot, aside from a little issue with not having enough plates to feed people with.
Did you get forks this time?
I got a lot of forks.
Nice.
A lot of plates.
I know there's no spaghetti. No spaghetti and pizza boxes for this.
Which kind of became a thing.
In regards to how things might turn out, that's not to say I think things are a disaster or anything right now, but on the first day, I think the day went smoother. We got what we set out to get.
Cut. We're done with the shot.
Wonderful.
It's not going to cut together if his hands aren't up there.
No, we can cut in between.
And I think also in the first day, because it was the first day, people were excited to be on set. There was just more positive vibe.
The second day was a bit more rough.
It was a cluster bomb.
One of the reasons had to do with my car and me leaving the battery on.
Carl's car immediately kind of broke down, and for some reason, fixing that took priority to getting set up, so. It was just kind of funny, like, we had like 8 people standing around a car that wasn't working, and our actors were all here and everything, and so it's kind of like, well, we got to get the ball rolling right now. Like, what's the hold up? Like, none of the gear was out there, none of that. It probably set us like 20 to 30 minutes back
After being started an hour and a half late, so
just, and the car's still not working, so it's kind of a waste of time.
We got off to a slow start, and I think that kind of set the tone for the rest of the day.
Come on, get up there and do something for Christ's sake. I want to get the hell out of here.
The first few things that I looked at weren't slated, so I wasn't exactly sure what I was looking at.
It does show in the end because we were missing so much. We got distracted and it did set us back.
We ended up having to cut, I'm not sure how many, but a good amount of shots. Anywhere probably between like 8 and 12, I would imagine.
we had to cut a lot of shots today. It was a lot of things that was unnecessary. Once we were on set and looking at the locations, we were really kind of just cutting anything that wasn't necessary. We were just kind of cutting the fat today. So a lot of the shots that were cut were because of the time that we had less time today.
And then, on top of that, the daily logs I received were, those were just garbage. They may as well have just not given them to me at all, or like had a script supervisor on set, because that's about as good as they are.
Certain shots were assimilated into one, which ultimately did not service us well by the time that we did get the footage back, because all these very lengthy setups that I had taken to make sure that we got the right coverage that we did, there just wasn't time enough to get it.
I dropped the line.
That's fine. We'll work to the next coverage. We have enough of the we got so much that we can make it piecemeal.
Since I've just cut out,
Lot.
we no longer have this shot, which would have been impossible to do anyway because we have no car. We are going to have that wide shot.
Well, we already have that with some of these.
Okay, so that's gone.
And taken care of.
Also that.
That's so creepy. I love it.
Well, it's a bit curious.
It is, but I love it.
It's childlike.
In general that day, I think the combination of the fact that we were really trying to fit a lot into that day in the first place, like most of the movie, at least in the script, probably takes place in the woods.
Oh boy. We climbed a mountain and we got the sore feet to prove it. At this point, we have done so much and more so than we ever expected to do for this particular location in these kinds of settings with this many people. It's more than extraordinary what we were able to achieve today, and the fact that we actually are coming back home to tell this story is going to be even more remarkable.
Probably the most obvious problem and truly the biggest embarrassment of the whole shoot was the fact that the door didn't work. Not at all. And it's something we probably should have figured out much sooner, just because it didn't open.
Can you see me at all?
There came that point where Tom, our Norman, was trying to open it, and we realized we didn't check the door.
And
Does it open?
it doesn't open.
Does it open?
In that
frame.
Have we tested? Should we test?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, let's start framing up each shot. Amazing. We never thought to get a door that would open.
I have no doubt that if we had taken 5 of our strongest crew members, we probably wouldn't have been able to bust this thing open. In fact, it almost came to the point where it was bust open.
Oh, you got a sandbag, anyone? Yeah. I'm never the kind of person just to throw a tantrum just because if something doesn't work, you can't afford to pull James Cameron or an Orson Welles, realizing that your vision is immaculate. That's not the case because you have to address it. So you have to be on your toes and improvise.
Yeah. But like, I don't know.
That's actually, I got it back here, and I was like, wow, food actually does help. All right.
Well, it gives you a second wind. It really does. Like, it's all right. It's food. It's edible. That's all I can ask for.
Would you have chosen?
Pizza or something, but that's probably not a good idea. So, I'm fine
Not
with
a good idea.
It's always a good idea.
Elaborate.
Well, I was told we were supposed to have Chinese food, but then that changed to sandwiches. So, I could totally have gone for some orange chicken and fried rice, but like, why are we talking about this? Yeah, I should go.
Thank you, though.
I know we were the last campaign to be launched, so I think it was 3 days after. I can't remember the exact date though. Everybody else is, so we were pretty late in the game. We're supposed to raise $4,000, and right now we have 11 days left, and we only have $1,385. So we have a long way to go. I kind of feel bad because I feel like I'm letting down the campaign, even though like I'm heading it and everybody's really helping out. I feel like we are going to get close to it if we don't make it. We don't, like I said, we only have 11 days left, but yeah, I kind of feel, I mean, I'm not sure, we might have to let some stuff go.
I mean, I don't think it's anyone's like specific fault. I don't think you would want to use the word fault for like why we weren't fully funded.
I am also the crowdfunding, like head of the crowdfunding for the coin box.
Also, I think we had multiple people who are also working on other projects, and I think we needed someone more committed to just our project in order to kind of build that crowdfunding. Because I think when you're spreading yourself too thin, things can fall through the cracks that way.
I was a bit disappointed when people kind of put the idea out there of making the film a comedy. I think that there are humorous beats to our film.
You'd be guessing right.
And I think that's hard to avoid. But I think, if we would ever decide to take that route, that would be a bit of a cop-out from what the original script would be. I feel like we'd be cheating the author of the script at that point.
Plus, I'm not much of a gambler.
When they come up and say something as direct as that, they're not saying it with venom, they're not saying it caustically, but when saying it with flippancy to those very people, your crew, that have trusted you, that you're trying to represent properly, you might feel some anger on your part, just because there's a lot of pride that goes in this, but when you have all those people whom have been assigned to you and are really depending on you as a director to try and pull that off, it's not so much a matter of, okay, this is my artistic vision, I must fulfill it, the prima donna. It's the fact that you now have a sense of responsibility and you want to make sure that you don't let those people down.
Coming into it, I heard some rumors about the shoot, so I guess I had some sort of preconceived notions of what to expect. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, well, I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's not as bad as people have told me that it might be. But it's definitely workable.
following seeing the first version of the rough cut, I came to realize that we were kind of lacking on coverage.
You guys see it? I see it. Door? You guys still talking about that door?
Yeah.
But I think now it's clear that we didn't get all that we needed, so reshoots are kind of a thing.
Everything was marked as good. You know, like there are things that say good, someone walk through. I'm like, well, then why is that a good take?
I think the third day went well. We started off with a bit of a guerrilla shoot, which is always kind of, scary. You don't know how that's going to go. We shot in Schaumburg at Busey Park, if that's how you say it. It was very kind of run and gun. I thought, we might get a few takes, and so we had everything prioritized. We knew what we wanted to shoot first, what we really needed to have, and it ended up being that, we got that, and we were like, oh, we have more time. Let's shoot the rest of it, and we ended up, getting everything we needed.
Well, when we had our production meeting with Killian, we were faced with two options. One, to go out and reshoot door footage to actually make the door more of a brooding presence, something much more fantastical, even metaphysical. Or we bite the bullet and shoot 40% of our movie. We certainly do still have the will. We're still making this movie.
I can manage it. Thank you, though. You take care now.
But I'm still confident that we can make what we have work, so.
We know where we can fix it. We still have an ace in the hole, and ironically enough, it is the door. We may be coming in under the wire at the last point. I mean, the last ones across the finish line in the race, but there's gold in them hills. It just has to be mined.
tried 1,000 times.